that it continues like that.
And one of the angles was attack was that you weren't qualified. What qualifications do you have?
Yeah. So I've been working on tiger conservation for nearly 8 years. I worked in Nepal and Thailand and also now here. And I've got an MS in conservation biology. And I've attended immobilization workshops. I've darted tigers in both Thailand and now in Bangladesh.
So what was it you had there, MS?
An MS in conservation biology, and now I'm studying my PhD.
In tigers?
Yeah.
Well,
You need to get another MS in PR.
Yeah.
In politics.
Come on, you have to be fair. In the meantime, he's helping about 2 or 3 other people getting their PhD before he gets around to his own.
No, but seriously, I think the timing of that blow up was interesting because that was around the time that Musée Guimet thing blew up also.
Which one?
The Musée Guimet thing, you know, the sending the artifacts to France and all of that.
Right.
So I think there was a sort of a national kind of a emotional thing about our, you know, treasures and cherished things.
Cultural and wildlife heritage being co-opted by foreign interests.
by foreigners. And you know, I mean, you're doing a great job here, but I also should point out that historically I think it's been very difficult for foreigners to go into to transcend borders in these kinds of things. I mean, look at Dan Fossey, you know, look at Nicky, look at all of these people. I mean, they had to play very political games and had to be very stubborn people. They had to really stand up for their things and do it and not get faced by these kinds of things. I really encourage you to stay on track and not let them get to you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're not letting
It doesn't let me leave. I tried to leave and it doesn't let me leave.
a good team here now. We're not going to let them.
Just to clarify, I mean, there's no are there any other tiger conservation projects in the Sundarbans or not?
The Monroe M. Khan is an assistant professor at Jahangir University in just outside Dhaka, and he's got a PhD on tigers, and he does bits and pieces now more in the border areas.
This is on the Bangladeshi side, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because there is a project on the
Oh
Indian
yes,
side.
on the Indian side they just collared a tiger about in December.
Right.
By the Wildlife Institute of India, and the guy's name is Rishi Sharma, and I'm in contact with him, and we, you know.
So the techniques that are used on the Indian side of the border in terms of tranquilizing and collaring, same?
No, they use cages, and they use a different drug, which is metatomidine ketamine mix.
Right. Okay.
So the 3 kind of drug combinations you can use on tigers is metatomidine ketamine, ketamine xylazine, and Telazol, which is a brand name for the one that we use. And each have got benefits and each have got drawbacks. So metatomidine ketamine is a really nice drug to use.
Recreational drugs.
Yeah, Telazol is also as well. Yeah. And so the good thing about metatomidine ketamine is they go down really fast, and you got a antagonist, which means that antagonist reverses it. So if the animal's in trouble, you give it an antagonist and boom.
Overheating or breathing problems or something like that.
Yeah, so overheating normally.
So why aren't you using that one then?
Because metatomidine ketamine also, you can be working with the animal and it can go from full sedation to wake up and standing next to you just like that, and that's quite dangerous. Also, metatomidine ketamine, you've got to mix 2 drugs, and so the thing with about field conditions, you're not working in a zoo.
You introduce an element of uncertainty.
Yeah, so you mix 2 drugs and then you tranquilize it, and then is it down? If it's partially down, then you have to mix another bit of drugs. You have to start guessing about how much drugs are in the tiger, how much drugs you're going to give it, and you change the ratio of drugs in its body, and they get metabolized at different rates. So now you get an imbalance of drugs that you originally wanted. But metatomidine ketamine is pretty safe. Is a pretty safe drug, and I wouldn't say no to trying it. I've got nothing against the drug really. The good, and it's got an antagonist. It also overheats a little bit more metatomidine ketamine. The only danger is it jumps up. That's the main worry, and also the field conditions. You don't want to be mixing the ratios. You want to keep it simple. You've got enough problems going on with trying to keep everyone safe, and the tiger alive without wanting to extra complications. So the good thing about Telazol is it also goes down quick, and it goes up really slowly, and there's no useful antagonist. There's no way of really reversing it. But it's a very safe drug to use. You can give it, I think, more than 10 times the normal dose, and it's going to just be fine. In any tranquilization, whenever you sedate something or put anything under anesthesia, including humans, there's a risk of death due to some other pathology, nothing related to the drug. There's also a chance that whatever you do, and however safe the drug's been, there's also a chance that that tiger is going to have a problem with it and die. There's also a problem that you could dart it in the wrong place, or you could injure it in the process, or lots of different risks involved. So we got to minimise all those risks. So Telazol is a pretty good drug. It's been used in Nepal with 50 captures of different tigers, and all the tigers had no problem metabolizing that drug.
That was when you were in Nepal.
No, that's my advisor, Dave Smith. Tiger capture has been going on since the 70s. Since 1970s, the first tiger was caught in Nepal by a guy called John Seidensticker. And then they had the very long-term, ongoing tiger ecology project there, which my advisor was part of. And they've just captured tigers, lots of different tigers. In that document, there was 50 captures of about 26 individuals, and there's many captures after that document was published, which was about 1980 or something, 1984. And in Russia, about 80 tigers have been captured for collaring. 80 captures of 50 different animals have been caught. In Thailand, I think 7 or 8 tigers have been caught. I've also been a part of that project. In India, I don't know how many they caught. They caught tigers in Nagarahole, they caught them in Panna, they caught them in Ranthambore, they caught them in Kanna, they caught them in the Sundarbans. And
Sri Lanka?
In Sri Lanka? No tigers in Sri Lanka.
None at all.
But interestingly, because they should be there, leopards are there. But no tigers. We don't know if they were there before. People think they might not have been. But Telazol is great because you only got one drug to deal with. It goes down fast, and it gets up slow. So you can see very gradually how close you can be to it and how it's doing. It starts flicking its ears, it starts flicking its tail, starts blinking its eyes, and slowly it comes out. And sometimes it can take hours, but it doesn't matter. It just kind of slowly gets up and goes to the jungle. And so the controversy in the newspaper, the guy he kind of fished around the internet and found some references that says you shouldn't use Telazol on tigers, and there's quite a few references for that. But the trouble is with references is there's never been actually any study to say that. It's like a perpetuated myth. So all the references he used were not something that said Telazol's been used on tigers. Telazol had a problem on these tigers. They were just recommendations in a book here and a book there and a book here referencing this book or referencing that book. So I asked a guy called Terry Krieger in the States who's does wildlife immobilization for a living. That's all he does, and he's written about 60 papers on different animals, reaction to drugs and their behaviour and all this kind of thing. And he did a big search. He just said there's just no evidence to say that Telazol is bad for tigers.
Just
so
on a side note,